I'll give you a clue. It was Grimsby.
They are pressing quite well. What's happened there? You've got to be joking.
Oh, sorry, no, I've done it the wrong way around. I've drawn an arrow. I haven't seen it. Sorry.
He must have a horseshoe up his ass.
If we're playing on professional and that's happening for Barcelona,
2 years ago. Sorry about that. I don't know what that was.
I'm sorry, that's just put me off the game. I'm not having that.
Anyway, segue, moving on.
What has that got to do with football? Why is that at a football ground?
Welcome to the mid-season prediction review from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Craig Savage, and with me as always is Charlie Betts and Daniel Cody. We're going to check up on our prediction from the start of the summer, with from the EFL, the National League, North and South, Scotland and Northern Ireland.
So you remember back, if you listened to the original prediction show, that we had like a point system going on. So we're not going to total them up today, but just for those of you who are interested, it was going to be a point if your team that you've chosen to be relegated gets relegated, and if they obviously would be to be promoted, they get promoted. And you get 5 points if you get them in the correct placing, obviously first, second, third, or 18th, 19th, 20th, depending on the size of the league. So we'll have a review of that, see how we're getting on, and hope for the best, really. And in my case, blind luck.
Very nice of you to pick league positions 18th, 19th, and 20th relegations when that applies in none of the leagues that we've done. But lovely stuff.
Oh, God.
So we're going to go through our predictions in the same order as we did in the pre-season prediction show. So it'll be my predictions first, then Craig's, then Charlie's from each of the leagues. We'll start in England at the Championship, work down to the National League South and North, and then we'll move on to Scotland and North.
Why are you repeating what I said?
I wasn't listening.
Right, no, we're holding this together. This is not being cut. Let's keep going. Right.
Can you tell it's nearly Christmas as we're recording this, which is the bit I needed to mention.
That was the disclaimer. This is...
Instead of saying what Craig just said, I was supposed to say that we are recording this on Friday the 21st of December.
Yes.
When this comes out in a week's time, we will have already had the Boxing Day fixtures and the Saturday before Christmas, so we will be a couple of games out.
And there's games after the Boxing Day.
Yeah, I think you get the idea.
Fuck off. let me just segue that. As a result, we may look completely stupid, but for now, we're just going to base it on the 21st of December.
And yes, we are completely stupid in these predictions. And we're going to start off in the Championship. Cody, who you've gone for and where they are now?
Well, the two sides I went for automatic promotion were Middlesbrough and Sheffield United.
Oh, good
and they've
choices.
both been up there all season. But Leeds and Norwich at the top are just starting to pull away now. So I've got a little bit of an 8 and 9 point gap to the top two. So it's going to be a little bit difficult for them, but I'm still completely confident. I did have Swansea to win the playoffs, and they're down in 9th place, but they're doing better than the side you had to go up. So let's not worry about that too much.
What about the other end of the table?
At the other end of the table, I've got one absolutely spot on. I had Ipswich to finish bottom of the league. Ipswich are marooned. Despite a manager change there all the way
because we know
down.
Paul Lambert won't save them. I've said this before.
I think he's given them a chance, actually.
Well, on the last game, didn't they? So...
Great, they'll probably lose at the weekend and then at Boxing Day and then after that and after that. We're predicting the future right now.
The other two I went for started brilliantly, as in they were right down there after a few games, and I was very smug, you may remember me, every week as Preston and QPR kept losing. Unfortunately, they've both gone on flying runs in the last month or so, and they're comfortably up in mid-table, 10 points clear and, 12 points clear and 9 points clear respectively.
So the guy that commented on the prediction show, the pre-season one, about the Preston one, now made me look silly.
At the start of November, I was so looking forward to this because I thought I'm going to have a right go. But unfortunately, I can't say a word now but at least they stuck with their manager and it's worked out for them, so fair play. But let's move on to your Championship predictions, Craig. How are they getting on?
Well, I had Stoke to win it, and they are currently 11th, so they had a bad start, but now they're finding a bit of form, and they're slowly rising up the table.
I hope Charlie's listening to that, because he's going to have to repeat that in a second.
I've had Derby County second, when they're in the playoffs. They are 4th at the moment, so...
Only 6 points off.
Only 6 points off the top. They've played some really good football. They beat Man United in the League Cup.
Yeah.
So, fair play to them. And also West Brom to win the playoffs, but they are also third, but... Gale, Rodriguez and Ashley Barnes' goals, they're vital for the
the reason me and Charlie said they probably wouldn't be is because we thought they were going to lose all their stars before the window. The likes of Dawson, Rodriguez, and nearly all of them stayed.
They beat QPR 7-1.
Yeah, I mean...
QPR
weren't in a great place.
No, they weren't.
But the fact they've kept most of their players is probably the reason they're up there.
I've gone for Bolton finishing last. They are currently 23rd.
They've slid down, haven't they?
Yeah, they had a great start. I think they were unbeaten the first 4 or 5 games, and then off the field problems have started to creep in on the pitch, and it's slowing down the table. Hull, I had 23rd. They are 17th. Fraser Campbell's going to be absolutely vital for them in the second half of the season as
If
well,
he
stays fit. And QPR 22nd.
Same problem as me there.
Where I also thought they would struggle, but Steve McLaren has turned them round brilliantly.
I will say in your defence though, after that 7-1,
it looked like
not you. Yeah, but people were baying for his blood, and actually, I agree that they stuck with him, and that's good. And then you were the first to say, actually, in fairness, that they put a run together, didn't they? Recently,
absolutely.
The McLaren out brigade has suddenly gone quiet.
Exactly.
Yes.
I'll try not to dominate this. No, so I've done the same as you. I went for you, Craig. I went for Stoke to win the league, and they are currently 11th, as we've discussed. Don't think we need to add much more to them.
They're certainly not going to win the league.
No. They're drawing too many games. They're doing 10 already.
They'll probably sneak in the playoffs. So.
I actually went for Borough, and I've written in my notes. I've got my original notes from when we did this.
Yeah.
I put West Bromwich Albion raid. At one point I must have mentioned that I thought West Brom were going to take a load of their players because Tony Pulis is obviously there.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened, and so but fair play to them. They're still in the playoffs, so they're there or thereabouts. And I went for the one that you didn't go for, which was Norwich City.
And your notes for them were even better, weren't they?
Yeah. And I've just literally written Jordan Rhodes. So it's
Timu Pukki is doing the job.
No, I will say. Having said that, I did say Norwich to go through the playoffs. I mean, the way they're playing at the minute, who knows?
But you're the only one that called them to be up there, so fantastic stuff from you.
And at the bottom, I said Rotherham would finish in 22nd, Bolton in 23rd, and Reading in 24th.
You've done it again. You've done it again. You forgot where your arrows were.
Oh no, I've done it again!
You made the same mistake twice.
It's even in the intro.
And if you wanted to know if Charlie's updated his notes since the first prediction show,
well, they are his.
They are his. They are his God. No, okay. I
remember that I've drawn an arrow, but I haven't read it.
So the point system is going to be very controversial with this section for you.
I went Reading, Bolton, and then Rotherham. Either way, the only ones who's actually in the
bottom three
are Bolton.
But
and
they're all right down there.
Yeah,
they're all right down there. You're doing brilliantly out of this, and considering yours were a wild shot in the dark.
But part of the reason for Bolton is they leak goals for fun, and they proved that to be the case this season.
They're leaking more than that off the pitch, unfortunately.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Leaking money. On to League One, Cody.
Yes, I'm not doing too badly in this one actually. It was quite a good start for me. My winners for the league were Charlton Athletic. They had quite an average start, but they're back up in 5th place now, just 8 points off the top and 4 points off second, which is obviously held by our beloved Luton Town at the moment. Which
none of us predicted.
Not Charlie's beloved Luton Town, because he only supports crap Premier League teams. Second place, I went for Peterborough United. Complete reverse of Charlton. They started like an absolute house on fire, flying up the league, and then Jason Cummings did something pretty similar, and now they're sliding back down. And I might not get away with that.
Jason.
In the playoffs, I had Barnsley as the winners. I had them to beat Bristol Rovers in the final, who are 23rd. Yeah. But luckily, we don't do player-off runner-ups, do we?
We'll say Barnsley got a game in hand, though. They're only 2 points off the playoffs. They're not in the worst position.
Obviously, I went to Barnsley as a Luton fan. Probably one of the best sides we played this season.
Oh, really?
Excellent football. Yeah. But away from home, again, they've had some dodgy results at times. But I think they'll be all right. At the other end, I have had an absolute nightmare. I've got one spot on, which was my bottom side, AFC Wimbledon. I am absolutely certain they will still finish bottom. My other three are Gillingham in 21st, who are actually up in 16th. And Craig's made the same mistake as me on that one.
Yeah, still
and we all had Wycombe Wanderers to go down. They're in 9th.
No, I know. I've got a brilliant thing about it, yeah.
And myself and Charlie had Fleetwood to go down, and they're right on their coattails in 10th.
Yes, because you have a Jerry Barton problem.
Not as bad as Charlie's Carl Robinson one, which we'll get on to.
No,
moving on to you, Craig.
Wait to League 2. I had Sunderland to win it because of the big club, big way following, even though but they're currently 3rd.
And they got rid of a few, about October time, they got rid of a few of those big wage bill players, and they've flown up the league since.
Yes, Portsmouth 2nd, who are 1st, so they're obviously flying.
That was a good shout out. I thought they would just consolidate this year. I think they've done very well.
I think they did that last year, and that's why.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, but a friend of mine's a probably see. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
were you going to try a fact there?
No. I was just saying. He said to me that he would rather do a couple of years in League One, build up, a bit of a momentum and that, and then go up. Wrong. But anyway,
the momentum's very strong at the moment. Even though it's Portsmouth Sunderland on the 22nd. Charlton for the playoffs, who are also 5th. So I think it's the playoffs at the moment. It's very tight.
We've all got them to go up.
Yeah, it's very tight at the moment. At the bottom, I've gone for Accrington. Who surprised me a bit because they started pretty well, but recently their form has dipped. But they're in 14th at the moment.
Towards the start of the season, they were only losing games by the odd goal, but they've had a few drubbings recently, as in 3 or 4 goal defeats. Particularly at Luton.
I think it's finally caught up to them, I'm afraid. But they won't go down. I don't think they'll go down now.
No.
Rochdale, I put them as 23rd, but they're currently 19th. They're slightly better than teams that are currently in the relegation zone of AFC Wimbledon, Bristol Rovers, Bradford, and Plymouth.
Yep.
And I agree with you, the same with you. Wickham 22nd and 9th, and Gillingham 21st. I still don't rate Gillingham at all.
No, I think they will slide back down. They're only 5 points clear, even though there are a few places above it.
Yes. Charlie?
I didn't know that I was the only one to have Wimbledon to go down. I thought you had as well.
No. I'll go through mine because mine's quite funny actually. In the sense of, I said Shrewsbury to go up because I thought they had a cracking season the year before.
You didn't have them to go up. You had them to win
win the league. No, sorry, win the league.
And how are they now, Charlie?
They are currently 17th.
And they're on their second manager of the season.
Yeah, Charlton as we've spoken about, and obviously Sunderland, there's no point going over that. I'll be honest, the 4 that I went to put to go down, 3 of them were very loosely based on sort of footballing reasons. One was based on not liking the manager. Ironically, the one team that was based on not liking the manager is the closest to being relegated out of the other 3 that I picked.
And they're not particularly close.
No, because I chose Fleetwood to finish 21st, Oxford 22nd, Wickham 23rd, Walsall 24th. And just to put that in context, Fleetwood are 10th, Wickham are 9th, and Walsall are 11th. So, whereas Oxford United are down in 18th. What I would say, the only thing I did get right is I did say here that Walsall let in a ton of goals, and they're actually the only team in the top half of the table with a negative goal difference, minus 10. So I thought with a goal difference like that, it'd be a lot lower. So
I just wanted to get this fact out here. It's the only league and the only person where 3 of your relegation predictions are above your title.
No, I know. Incredible.
You couldn't make this up. On to the 2 League. Cody.
The 2 League?
The 2 League. Got American now. 2 League.
On to League 2. We all had Lincoln to go up. I had them as champions, as did Craig Savage.
Yes, I did.
They
5
are
points.
Top of the league, just holding off MK Dons. They might not win it, but they're certainly going to go up, let's be honest. In second place, I had Swindon, a team again we all had to go up. They are sitting top of the bottom half on 30 points, but only 4 off the playoffs and 6 off 4th place and just 8 off the automatic places. So by no means over. They obviously sacked Phil Brown, which we mentioned in a previous podcast.
Very steady manager, Phil Brown. We did say this.
And then my dark horse at the start of the season in 3rd, Crawley Town. What did your team, Notts County, go and do? Stole the bloody manager in September.
And look how well that went.
That didn't go well, and I bet he's regretting leaving now, but they're obviously down in the bottom half as a result. To go down, I had 2 teams, Yeovil and Crewe, which were big surprises at the time. And I tell you what, a few weeks ago there was a big cushion due to the start of Macclesfield and Cheltenham. They're only 6 points clear now, Crewe, and only 3 points for Yeovil.
Yeah.
So I'm still
I
confident.
thought Yeovil was still up there.
Yeovil
are
they
lost 4.
They've got 2 games in hand.
I was going to say, they've got 2 games now, which could change the picture of it, but yeah.
Even then, they can only go up to 14.
Well, yeah, Yeovil have drawn the last game and then lost the previous 4, so they're not exactly in a great run of it.
They did lose to Stockport County in the FA Cup
but
as well.
Generally, aside from a couple of my promotion picks, they're doing alright. Oh, I had Oldham to win the playoffs, which I didn't mention as well, and they're just 2 points off the playoffs and 4 off 4th, so they're doing okay.
Like Cody, I've also gone for Lincoln to win it, and they are currently top of the table. I had Notts County.
Goes a bit wrong for you two from here.
No, I know. I was looking at my thinking, how am I going to explain this one?
Notts County, big Kevin Noden, and I thought, he's going to do the job. He's going to learn his lesson from the last season, and then they sack him, and then they got Harry Kewell in, and then they sacked him, and now they got who they got in now?
Someone.
They got a guy in charge.
That's knowledge. You won't get that anywhere else.
Knowledge is the power, and we thank you. But they're sitting 23rd, and the oldest football side could be out of the Football League.
Would be a shame.
Would be a shame. Obviously, I had Swindon's finished 3rd, but obviously Phil Brown got a 2nd, now he's 13th. For the playoffs, you laughed at me with this.
You're looking good.
I said Tranmere, and they're currently 8th. So it's only goal difference keeping them out of it.
Well, in fact, to be honest, 1 win and they could potentially go 4th, couldn't they?
Yeah, got Norwood up there. He's scoring all the goals for them.
I would go a bit further now, having seen the first half. I think they might nick a top 3.
Tranmere, hopefully, and the guy that scored the
I
goal
don't
against
like the way you
Southport.
say Tranmere, if I'm honest.
No,
Tranmere.
It's Tranmere.
Tranmere.
You're saying Tranmere.
Tranmere.
Anyway, carry on. So it is.
For the bottom, I had Morecambe to finish dead last, but they are 20th, but they're only 3 points above the relegation zone, so it could go down to the wire.
Yes, what about your other one? Your spiteful one.
My spiteful one of League 2 is Stevenage, and they are
I'm
11th.
surprised,
Just because.
One win off 5th.
But I'm sure
Lewis Hamilton.
I'm sure Lewis Hamilton will be going to a game soon.
The reason I was criticising your pronunciation of Tranmere is I realised that the next 4 leagues that I predicted have gone woefully wrong. So I was trying to deflect from the fact that in League 2, obviously, I went.
Really? You're trying to deflect your mistake?
No, no.
Just because I do the slides, I may point out that it may say Charlie is an idiot on it. Can't promise.
So obviously, Notts County, not going to mention about that anymore. Yeah. I went for Exeter to finish 2nd. They're in the playoffs in 7th position. Yeah. As I say, it's very tight there. 1 win, they could be in they could be up to 4th. potentially still coming into second, so I'm not giving up too much on them. Lincoln City I had for third, obviously doing well at the minute, still all to play for, especially when MK Don's there. And playoff, I've just literally written Swindon Town, Phil Brown. I think we've talked about that enough, and obviously their plight. The bottom half of the table
hang on,
very, very wrong.
Before you start this, we need to mention your comments from the start of the season.
I can't remember his
I've actually
bottom
written
two.
them as well.
He mentioned he mentioned these two clubs and Forest Green, who are 9th, and used the quote in the prediction show, all dog shit. Where are they, Charlie?
They haven't beaten for like 15 games, didn't they?
Well, Morecambe are 20th. As you say, up until recently, we're fairly safe, obviously. They're only 3 points off the relegation zone now, so they can still be dog shit.
However,
Port Vale are up in 15th on 27 points and 8 points off of the relegation zone.
And Forest Green are knocking on the door.
And Forest Green are 9th with 33 points.
And had one of the longest unbeaten runs at the
did,
start of the season.
as we well know. So that was a horrendous prediction.
Again, just to go back to our facts, the only reason you didn't have the same facts as you had in League One is because only 2 teams go down. And the side you had to win the title are the lowest of all of your predictions in that league.
What a surprise.
In fairness, I will say my defence in that all 3 of us went for Swindon. So will say.
But only 2 of you went for Notts County.
Yeah, but I thought they would be up
Anyway,
there, but
right, let's move on to the national.
Right,
Can I just go, I am well, my prediction
You
all
gone way
over
down
the shop
here.
here.
I can see why you said you didn't like the National League.
Right, so as you said, National League. Cody, who?
Well, it's very, very tight at the top. I'm really looking forward to this league because it's the only chance in these predictions I'm going to get to have a real pop at Craig.
Yeah.
But in terms of this league,
I went for Solihull Moors too.
it's so tight at the top that all of our predictions are right up there. So for league winners, I went for Wrexham, and for playoff winners, I went for Orient. Orient are top of the league, Wrexham are 4th. Obviously, you both were going to mention Salford, they're up there as well.
But
it's a brilliant title race.
Got a game in hand, Wrexham as well, haven't they? You know, it's, like you say, it's incredibly tight.
Different manager now. I don't know. Mike Neal's the new assistant manager.
Taking things aside, it's a brilliant title race. The games on TV have largely been brilliant, and it's just good to see the National League in a strong position. Going down, I think it would be fair to say I'm doing a little bit better than most of you, considering half of your teams are up in the playoffs. But again, it's one that has started to go wrong. So in 21st, I had Dagenham and Redbridge, who until they appointed Peter Taylor, an appointment I criticised, were right down there.
Until
and now
until Tim Howard
yes.
came to the fold.
And now they're flying up the league. They're in 14th place and 7-point cushion now to the relegation zone. Hartlepool, bit of the opposite. They started right up there and they're on a slide now. They have still got a cushion of 10 points, but I do worry for them, especially now they sacked Bates, which I think was an awful decision. In 23rd, I had FC Halifax, and unfortunately, they're just 6 points clear now. They've got a game in hand, though. I think their home form will just keep them up. And in 24th, I had Maidenhead, who are down in the relegation zone after a decent start. Craig Savage, I am going to have an absolute pop at you now, mate.
Right, so I had Salford to win it, which they are second. Barnet Barnet for the playoffs, who are currently 15th.
How far are they off the playoffs?
I don't know.
They are 11 points off the playoffs.
But the thing is, they started badly, but league form at the moment is not good. One win, lost 4 out of 5. But I believe in still.
They've got 3 games in hand.
Exactly, they had a good FA Cup run.
So and you're not as bad as Charlie. He had them to win the league.
I did.
John Still.
Barnet, John Still.
So, the relegation zone, I had Solihull Moors to finish dead last, and they're currently 5th. Now, after
you had them bottom. I didn't have them bottom.
After watching Tim Flowers and Solihull Moors in the FA Cup game against Hitchin,
which I didn't watch,
which you didn't watch,
before you free egg.
I was actually quite impressed with them, and unfortunately, somehow.
I mean, that's great, but that's not going to get you bonus points on this.
No, I'm just saying, I like the way they're playing. To be fair, I like the start and give them credit. I had Havant and Waterlooville to finish 23rd. They're currently 19th. So it's close.
Your next one's
and then my
next
one's not good as well. I've got Harrogate Town, who are for 22nd. They are 3rd.
They are embroiled in the title race.
And I thought
you haven't got that bad.
No, because they got promoted last season. I thought they were strong. But brilliantly, they've done excellent.
Your quote was, "I think it'll be a bit too much for them." I'll bring it out my piece of paper.
I think it'll be a bit too much, and it's not too much for them because they're sitting third, fair placement. I like the way they play as well. And the Barrow for 21st, but they're currently 12th. So, very solid in mid-table.
Yeah.
Charlie!
I only got one. I've actually got one that's spot on at the minute, but the rest of them are all rubbish. So obviously went for Barnet, who are down to 15th. Not going through that again. Salford we've spoken about. Yeah, I think there's nothing to say about them. I then had Havant and Wartburn in 21st, who we've said are just hanging on.
I think you'll be right.
Yeah,
unfortunately, they're a good club. But I think you'll be right.
Solihull Moors. Now, it wasn't so much the fact that I picked Solihull Moors because you picked them to go finish bottom, Craig.
Yeah, I did, yeah.
It was more the fact my justification for that, which was that Tim Flowers is goalkeeper. Goalkeepers aren't very good managers, and actually he's doing a fantastic job there.
And the fact he didn't even bother to turn up to see his work is
No.
a shame. Really.
He's doing a very good job, and I tip my hat off to Tim
Yeah, I tell you
Flowers.
what, if they get promoted automatically,
Flowers.
yeah, I'll get a Tim Flowers shirt. I don't know.
Yes.
You should get a season ticket to
Yeah.
come back.
I also went for Barrow, only because I've written here because their goal difference last year was minus 63 or something like
That's
that.
a nice one, wasn't it?
-2 this year.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
not too bad. But yeah, they're mid-table. But the one I have got right is Braintree, who are dead last in the league, and they are dead last in the league.
Again, I thought Brad Quinn to keep him up, but they sacked him early doors.
Yeah,
But
so
how
they're
can they
14
rate him?
points. What are they? 7 points off. No, that's complete. That's awful maths. They're 9 points off of safety, and I can't see them making them up anytime.
And the teacher knows his maths again. On to the National League North.
Yeah.
Cody.
Well, I've done a Charlie in this one, or a U based on the last week. I went for York City to win it. I was umming and ahhing between York and Stockport, the two big sides, and I went for York, and they are 14th after an early manager sacking, and they are 14 points off the top.
Excellent.
So they're not going to get anywhere soon.
Playoffs?
Playoff winners, I had Kidderminster Harriers, and they are 6th in the playoff places at the moment, with a game in hand on some of the teams above them. So I'm pretty sure they'll be up there come the end of the season. Going down, I'm the only one to get this one right. Nuneaton Borough. I had to go down as my dark horse. I got a bit of criticism for it.
They're awful off the pitch.
I mean, we mentioned a lot in season 2.
I feel for them.
Yeah, I mean, nearly every week in season 2 we mentioned where they were going financially off the pitch. They're rock bottom, and the only thing I've got wrong is what position they're going to finish, unfortunately. I had Leamington to finish 21st. I know Charlie had them to go down too. They are just in the top of the bottom half again. And 22nd, bottom of the league, I had FC United of Manchester, who are going to be down there. They're they're 2 points above. And it's going to be very interesting when you two move on to your predictions.
Yes, so I had Hereford to win the National League North.
Where are they?
But they are currently 20th, but there's a reason for this why they're 20th, and it's the head of football.
Again, we mentioned him.
That's a very
season
good point,
two.
Yes.
though. The sacking
of their manager was
ridiculous.
a joke, and not enough mighty balls were collected, and that's why they're 20th.
They sacked him in the top half for a poor start.
Yeah.
Hope you go down.
Strong, very strong. In the playoffs, I had Chester, who are currently 4th.
Yeah.
So they had a slow start, a heavy defeat, but I think Bernard and John O can get the best out of their side.
Be nice if our two sides faced off in the playoff final, actually, wouldn't it?
Lovely. In the relegation zone, I got what did I put FC United for? Oh, so yeah, I did. FC United. They were in there. I put them to go 20th. They are currently 18th, so very inconsistent. Curzon Aston.
Not even close.
Not even close. I put them as 21st, and they are 15th, but they're only 3 points above the relegation zone.
They are.
So they could creep back in.
Well, let's hope when they finish down there later, you've known how to pronounce their name.
Yeah, I'm getting close. And then I had Ashton United as bottom, and they are 21st. So,
After sacking their manager by text.
yes, so poor form, only none are worse. Charlie.
I'm slightly disappointed because at one point my National North League winner looked like a stroke of genius because Brackley Town, earlier on in the season, they had a brilliant run, didn't they? Where they were up there, they were in the playoffs at the very least, and I was like, because they're one of the most southern teams in the league, it's going to be a difficult place to go to, and they've basically gone off. They've drawn the last 3 and lost 2, and they're now down to 11th. Only 3 points off the playoffs, but it seems to be going slightly downhill now, which is a bit of a shame, really, because I'd have looked like a tactical genius if I got that one right.
But of the 3 teams we picked to win the leagues, they are the highest. So
yeah.
Good job.
I also made the bear trap that was Hereford and stepped in it and chose them. I had Guiseley to go down, who are only 2 points off the relegation. That's so tight at the bottom of the
They've got lots of games in hand, though, because they had the big FA Cup.
Yes, they did.
So, but it's very tight down the bottom.
Very tight.
Guys to go down. Annoyingly, I'd written Ashton United, who are second bottom, crossed it out and wrote Leamington. So I originally chose them, and obviously Leamington are mid-table now. And finally, I had Curzon Ashton to finish bottom.
How beautifully pronounced.
And obviously, as you spoke about, Craig. Nowhere near it.
No. On to the National League South, and I'm going to
Cody's
start
favourite league, innit?
with Cody's pick for relegation. I'm going to start with the bottom because you said, and I quote, Billericay Town.
Yes. So what I said was there was a chance that things would go wrong off the pitch and they could end up down there. Now, in the last couple of weeks, they've trimmed the squad quite heavily, and the announcements that have come out from the club have been quite vague. Now, Dean Brennan is saying he wants to trim the squad and get rid of some of the big earners. You can believe that. You can see what's going to happen. So I don't think it will be this year, but I certainly don't think they'll be going up like you two did.
No.
Especially with Torquay getting Gary Johnson, which obviously came weeks after we've been.
Yeah, we didn't know about that.
Yeah,
It seems that does seem to be a
and I'm pretty sure I'm right in saying we would all pick Torquay now with Gary Johnson.
Oh, absolutely.
But moving on to my other 2 relegation teams, East Thurrock, which Charlie had as well. They're in 21st. I've got them in the right position, which is something I don't think I've done yet so far, apart from AFC Wimbledon in League One. And bottom of the league, I had Slough Town, a team I later went on to manage in Football Manager and am now quite fond of. They've had a good FA Cup run, they've got a couple of games in hand, and they're up in 16th. But it's not as close at the bottom in this league, they're 10 points away. No. So at the top of the league, I had Dartford to win it, as we all did. They are, after a poor start to the season, just into the playoffs now in 7th. And it's quite tight at the top. There are only 8 points between them and the top of the league. And they've got a game in hand too. And my playoff winners were Woking, who are 3rd, 2 points behind the top. But if they win their games in hand, they will be top of the league.
Yes. Thank you for that, Cody. No, the top of the table is very tight at the moment.
It's a brilliant league.
It could be 4 or 5 teams could win this. It's ridiculous. But I had Billericay to win it.
Oh, you didn't?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, Dartford to win it, didn't you?
No, I had Dartford for the playoffs.
I had Dartford.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I had Dartford for the playoffs.
Well, I've done what Charlie normally does with his notes.
Yes. I had Billericay to win it, obviously with the big money spenders, but now they're gone. You never know what could happen in the second half of the season. And Dartford for the playoffs, which I had very fond of in my Football Manager game, and they're
not Hemel Hempstead, I've heard you say there.
No.
No, go on.
At the bottom, I had Truro to finish dead last.
They've had a few things with the ground and everything.
Yeah, but going back there, I think they could turn around. They're currently 18th.
But they've only lost 1 in 5 though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a weird thing, how an announcement has changed the mentality of the club. It's the same thing like Dulwich Hamlet as well. Going back to Champion Hill, it's just changed that mentality.
Being able to stay out of there while they were 100 miles away in Torquay is such a great thing. And now going back home, hopefully they'll be able to stay out.
I think we can get the attendances back.
Yeah, we definitely don't want them to go down.
No. I had Gloucester in 20th. I don't know why I've gone for this order. Gloucester in 20th, who are currently 19th.
Your teams are all down there, to be fair.
Yeah, and Hungerford, who I don't really like, for Football Manager reasons. I put them down as 21st, but they are 20th, so mine's quite tight, and it's going to be very interesting down the bottom. There's about 5 teams in it.
You already spoke about the 2 teams that I said would go up, so I had Dartford to win the league and Billericay. Annoyingly, I had written Woking and then crossed them out, and Woking are currently 3rd.
Yes.
So it's but no. So there you go, one of those things. Down the bottom, I not done too bad. I've got Hungerford and East Thurrock. I had East Thurrock to be 20th and Hungerford to be 22nd, so sort of in and around there.
What about your other one?
Eastbourne Borough, who are currently 15th, which they're 12 points off the relegation, so I can't. It'd have to be a miracle for them to go down. One team that is worth looking on is St Albans, though. Haven't won a game in 5. Slowly on the way down. Keep an eye on them. Could be relegation fodder.
I don't.
Let's hope not as a local side.
Yeah.
I don't believe that at all.
Are we done in England?
We are done in England. We're going to go north of the border. We're going to go to Scotland. The SPL.
Now, there's something we need to mention here. We all said there was no point in picking a top side because it was going to be Celtic by a million miles.
Yeah, I agree.
No one wants the lead in that league, as it's been quite famously said by a number of pundits.
But isn't it nice to have Kilmarnock up there?
Yes, Kilmarnock are up there very
I don't care
nice.
about the others,
but one of the teams that isn't so nice to be up there is Livingston, because we all had them to finish bottom and they're in
the top. I watched them the other week though. They were rubbish. Awful.
Anyway,
we'll get to that bit. There are 6 teams worse. We all had Celtic to win it, obviously. Yeah. They are top as it stands with a game in hand. I think in the second half of the season, once they go out of Europe in February, I think they'll run away with it. In second, I had Hibs. They are 8th. That's not gone quite so well. And going down alongside Livingston into the playoff place, I had Hamilton, who are just 4 points clear of it. So we've all completely got the bottom wrong, but our playoff teams are all down there.
Yeah.
Craig, moving on to you.
Yeah, I said Celtic to win it, which I thought would be easy, but it's not as easy as we all thought.
I think it still will be.
Well, we'll see. I had Aberdeen to finish second.
They're up there.
2 points off. 2 points off.
2 points.
He finds a way, McInnes, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. Currently fourth. Livingston, I didn't finish last. I did write in my notes. Kenny Miller will get sacked.
He did.
He did get sacked.
Quite quickly as well.
Technically, he didn't get sacked, did he? He said he didn't want to be a player and a manager, and that one's the only one I believe it was actually mutual consent.
Well, then again,
but he's now bottom club Dundee, isn't he? So that was a good decision.
So in my notes was Kenny Miller leaving Livingston was the best thing for them. Home form is excellent. Dundee 11th, who are currently 12th. Woeful, but Kenny Miller might save them. So he's a bit of...
I doubt that.
No,
probably
I think
not.
he's well over there.
Charlie.
I had Celtic and Rangers, obviously we spoke about that. I did write Rangers, Liverpool B team, question mark.
One of them's gone back.
Yeah, although apparently they're getting Dominic Solanke from Liverpool on loan.
Who are?
Rangers.
Oh,
well, they need him because
of course,
Morelos is going to get sold.
Reserve side.
Morelos will get sold, and the other one, Umar Sadiq, one of the worst footballers.
Yeah,
sorry. Morelos will get sold or sent off again. Candeas will probably get sent off again. And then probably Scott Arthur will probably get
I will say that
again.
Candeas is a good player. Though. I mean, I only watched one game against Livingston, but yeah, he's a good player.
Sadiq's dive in the League Cup semi-final.
Yeah,
go and watch it on YouTube. It is one of the most obscene things you will ever see.
At the bottom, obviously, I went for Hamilton as the relegation playoff. We spoke about 4 points off, and Livingston. St Mirren are in the relegation playoff and place at the minute, and I'd quite like them to start only because they took Oran Kearney from Coleraine in the Irish League.
Coleraine was it?
But I think it's good that you want managers to progress through it. It'd be nice if he could do a good job there. And I think Anton Ferdinand's playing there at the minute.
Yes.
And I just think it'd be good for a young manager to do a good job. And you'd hate for that to wreck someone's career. It's the first professional job he's had. It was not, just that sort of thing. It'd be nice for them to stay up. And it sounds horrible, but some journeyman like Kenny Miller or something. I'm not going to be too fussed if he goes down because. No, but do you know what I mean? The point I'm getting at is it'd be nice for someone to make their name for himself.
Can I say on behalf of myself and Craig from the Honest Football Podcast that those comments were by Charlie Betts?
I'd like to see St Mirren start with Hamilton. Maybe
and we don't believe Kenny Miller's a journeyman. He probably is, but... Anyway, moving on to Northern Ireland. Cody.
Yes, I mean, I'm looking by far the best in this league of anyone.
I'm definitely not.
I had Linfield to win the league. For some reason, I haven't written who Charlie had, but I do know who he did. Linfield are just 2 points off the top. They're up there with Ballymena, who obviously it's quite unlikely they're going to be able to sustain it.
Yeah.
I do believe Linfield will run away with it the second half, and I think their closest rivals will be Glenavon, to be honest, towards the end. Going down, we all had Newry bottom. They're second bottom because Ards have had a shocking season.
Yeah.
And I had Warren Points finish 11th. They're up in 9th, but they're one place behind the two that you had. So, not doing too badly. And to be honest, considering Charlie is our resident expert for this league,
could be more
he's
wrong.
not doing too well. But Craig, carry on, mate.
Yeah, I had Crusaders to win it, who are currently 5th.
Yeah.
Institute to finish 11th, who are currently 8th. And Newry, bottom, but they're 11th. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a friend of mine works for the BBC in Northern Ireland on the football. When he told me Crusaders are run away with the league, so I followed him. So thank you, Johnny Martin. You made me look a mug in front of everyone. To be honest, I'm going to watch Ballymena on what would be Wednesday now, Boxing Day against Coleraine.
Well, that would have already happened by the time this comes out.
Sorry.
So good maths again.
Good win for Ballymena.
I agree with you. I don't think though, even though they're sort of my team to follow as such, I don't think they'll sustain it because they've got such a pile up. Because in the semi-finals of the League Cup, they're in the next round, so in the Irish League, they bring them in the second round for the Irish Cup. There's a massive fixed congestion. The League Cup semi-final was postponed again. So you're talking about you're going to get to the situation.
As a home format, with the pitch at the start of the season.
Yeah, so a lot of home games, but then because it's a because in that sort of standard, it's a community thing. It can't always be used. Anyway, point being, they're going to end up with a massive clog of fixtures, which they're not going to be equipped for, whereas a team like Linfield are. So I think they'll actually win the league. Although Linfield are currently in the position I predict them to be in. And down the bottom, I just was lazy and went for Institute and Newry.
I don't know much.
Institute, I don't know. It's up in Derry. It's a difficult place to go. Actually, I think that's proved to be a bit more challenging than what they thought.
I'd just like to say one thing about the Northern Irish League, because since we did our predictions in Football Manager, I've had 2 stints over there, and I'd just like to say, no offence to the club in real life, but I hope Dungannon Swifts go down because they treated me like shit on that game. Charlie, can you provide us with your expert analysis on the second division where you predicted Larne to go up? How are they going?
Larne are doing very well. No, the shock of the second division is that Ballymena Mallard, who got relegated last year from the Premier League, and now in fear of getting relegated out. And then that's when you start to go into regional leagues after that, so they are really struggling. But yeah, Larne are running away a bit. The amount of money they've spent, though, is crazy.
And last...
Purple Bricks guy.
Yeah, Bloke who owns Purple Bricks Estate Agents is the one who's he's the millionaire pumping the money into them. They're running away with the league.
Just lastly, before we finish off and round off this mid-season predictions, we did have a little bit of fun and poke a bit of fun at Wales at the end of the last podcast.
Yes.
And say we're not going to predict their league because it was so obvious that TNS were going to run away with it as they do every year. So I just want to give you a bit of an update from the top of the table. Top of the league are Connors Quay Nomads on 36 points. Barry Town, who came up, are on 35 after just a season in the league. And the New Saints are down in third, 5 points off the lead. So I don't know if that's just the early season Europe struggles and things like that. But normally they've crept their way back up to the top by now. So we might be in for a shock and learn our lesson and do it properly next year.
And that's it for our predictions for the mid-season. We will keep an eye on it for, come the end of the season. Hopefully I would win. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Comment in the section below if you still think we're stupid idiots. And you can follow us on Twitter at HonestFootball3. And we'll see you next time.